Hello and welcome to the Swamps. Today we're going to do a tarot reading on how people view you. Before we get started, I just want to say that Mother Nature is kicking my butt today. So if this is a little bit shorter than usual, my apologies. Anyway, let's get started. This is pile 1, this is pile 2, and this is pile 3. Alright guys, let's go. Hello, pile number 1. This is your tarot reading for how people view you. You chose the Petrified Wood, a super cool piece in my collection, honestly. I just think it's so cool that used to be, it is sort of still wood, but it's petrified. All right, we're going to get into your oracles and then your tarot. So your first oracle card is Mars in Sagittarius with domination. Your next oracle card is Hummingbird. Your next oracle card is Owl. Your next oracle card is Anxiety with the color like chartreuse. That's like a chartreuse. And your last oracle card is Martyr. Light attribute, learning to transcend nature of service to oneself or a cause. Shadow attribute, addiction to self-pity. Okay, so what I am immediately picking up on is that I feel like people feel anxious when they look at you. That's like what I'm immediately drawn to with this spread right here. And I think this has to do with the fact that you can let people walk all over you sometimes. I think that you're sort of a pick your battles kind of person. I think that they view it as that. They view you picking your battles as you being walked all over, but in reality, you're picking your battles. That's sort of what I'm getting here. And the reason I get that is because of the owl. I feel like there's a lot of wisdom that comes with that. And I feel like the domination card almost has like a double meaning here. Like it looks like you're being dominated, but you're the one that's doing the dominating in a weird way. Not in like an animalistic way, but in like you really won this one. You know what I mean? Like if somebody, I'm trying to think of a good example. Like if somebody told you that, like if you're playing a game and they told you it went a certain way when you know it didn't go a certain way, but you know it's really not worth arguing over, you're just going to let them win the game. You're going to let them win the little petty board game and you're going to move on with your life. You're not, and in a weird way, you won that battle. Even though technically they may have won the battle, you won the war. I guess I should really say it like that. So like, I think people might view you as somebody who gets walked all over because of that. But in reality, I don't think that's what's going on. I think that it's almost like you got these two birds that came out, this little dainty little hummingbird and then this owl. And I feel like that people see you as the hummingbird when in reality you're the owl. Like you might look like an easy target, but you're not actually an easy target. And actually I think you look like a martyr because of this. Like you sort of you roll with life's punches and people see that, but they don't understand it, is sort of what I'm getting at here. I feel like, there may have been some times in your life where you really were dominated and people remember that. And I think when they see you picking your battles wisely, that's what gives them anxiety because it brings them back to when you were going through something that was like an actual dominating moment of your life. But I think that moment in your life has taught you what to really watch out for. And I think that's why you come across this way, because you sort of, again, know how to pick your battles. You might lose the battle, but you'll win the war. I keep hearing that. And I think that's something that you really understand. And to be honest with you, I don't think the people around you fully understand that one. That's one that I don't think a lot of people understand. Sorry, I'm going in and out of focus yet again. But yeah, it's definitely one of those things that looks a certain way, but in reality, it's not like that at all, basically. That's interesting with the petrified wood being what you chose, because I feel like that's sort of symbolic of this situation here. It's like there's like a wisdom here. You seem to have an amount of wisdom here, and I think some people who are close to you, I think, probably understand this, but people who aren't close to you, that this like seeing you pick your battles actually gives them anxiety sometimes, and I think that's sort of funny, to be honest with you, because that's something I remember when I was in therapy. I used to be told that all the time. And it's not an easy thing to do. Picking your battles, for some people, for other people, it's easy. But for some people, it's really not easy to pick your battles. And that's, I think, what I'm picking up on here. People who don't understand that, people who have a tough time picking their battles, they don't understand when you're doing that. And because of that, it gives them a little bit of anxiety. They view you as a martyr because they think that you're just sort of like, in reality, you are doing this, but I don't think they understand it. They view you as rolling with the punches of life, and that's like a really good thing, but I think these people just don't understand that. I think that they don't understand that it's good to go with the flow, and it's good to take what life gives you. I just heard, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade, the most cliche and cheesy thing that I could have said, but yeah, that's like sort of the energy here. Like, some people really just don't understand that about you, but what I have to say about that is, honestly, keep them on their toes. If they don't understand that, that's on them. Like, it's honestly like a really beautiful thing that you are able to pick your battles. I still struggle with that, actually. So I respect this energy quite a bit. Let's get into your tarot cards. Let's see what the first tarot card is. We have the World. And for some reason, this is making me think of like Jesus. I don't know why, but that's like the first thing that came to my head. Probably because the Martyr card is out here too. I feel like with this group, people view you as having the world on your shoulders sometimes. Like I said, you pick your battles. I think that you sort of just roll with life's punches. And because of that, people think that you have like a lot of weight on you. And maybe to a degree that is true, but I also think that this group is really good at coping with that. I don't really, like, when I see this, I don't feel... Even though there's an anxiety card there, I don't think that's coming from you. And maybe for some of you it is. Maybe for some of you, you do struggle with anxiety. But I do think that you, like, because of that, you have a lot of wisdom. And you sort of just, cope with it. Like, I don't know how to describe the energy that I'm feeling. I don't know how to do it justice, basically. But it feels like even though there's a lot going on, it's going to be okay kind of energy. I feel like that's like who you are and how you would acknowledge that. So let's see the next tarot card. We have the Two of Swords. I think that for some of you, people think, okay, this is really crazy. So people view you as somebody who has the weight of the world on their shoulders, but you don't even see it. And I think that you do, to clarify this energy, because this makes a lot more sense. You do understand that there's a lot going on, but because you're so calm, it looks like you don't even realize that there's a lot going on. That's sort of what I'm getting here. It's almost like you might even have anxiety that you're dealing with because of whatever this is or whatever's going on, but you remain calm. And that's what people see, and I think it freaks them out a little bit, to be honest. Like I said, keep them on their toes, though. This is a good quality. I would never, talk down on it or anything like that. I think that there's something really powerful about this energy, in an owl way. When you see an owl, you see a very calm Zen animal, but that owl is a hunter. And I feel like that's the similar energy with you. Like, when you see you, your first, impression is, wow, that's a really chill person, but you know how to take care of yourself. Like, that's sort of what I'm getting here. People might view you as a martyr. People might view you as being dominated in certain situations, but you are the one that's really winning the whole game here. That's sort of what I'm really getting from this energy. So we're going to pull some charms now. You got a lot of charms, and look what came out. This owl. So I feel like that's to emphasize that you do have some crazy owl energy about you. You look calm. You might even look like a hummingbird sometimes, but you're playing the game here, like you really are. Interestingly, we got two very similar looking starfish coming out of here. I feel like what this makes me think of how starfishes, they regrow their limbs. And I feel like that's you. Like, you might lose a limb, but you're calm because you know you're going to be able to regrow it. Like, that's totally you. I don't know why, but the quote from Shrek came to mind with this rose, which is like, you have many layers to you. Like, on the outside you might seem calm, on the inside you might be a little bit worried, but but at the end of the day, I feel like this group knows that they're going to be able to get through whatever it is. And we have another star coming out. Maybe you guys are really good at manifesting. That's sort of what I get from that. And then last we have this little like Saturn looking planet. Maybe you're really into astrology. Some of these might just be indicators that this is your pile, so I might not be able to directly tell you what they're about, but yeah, that's all I'm really getting for this group. So thank you for watching this reading. I hope you found it helpful. If you wish to support this channel, please subscribe, and once again, thank you. Ooh, ouch. Oh. I hope no one saw that. All right, hello there, pile number 2. This is your tarot reading for how people view you. You chose the garnet. Every time I pick this stone up, I hear the Steven Universe theme song. Every time. All right, so we're gonna get into your oracles first and then your tarot, as I usually do. All right, sorry, I just wanna make sure it's all straight. Okay, so your first oracle card is Fortune with the Sun in Leo in the 5th house. Your next oracle card is Bee. Your next oracle card is Beaver. Your next oracle card is Strength. Interesting. And your last oracle card is Father, light attributes, talent for creating and supporting life, positive guiding light within the tribal unit, shadow attributes, dictatorial, control, abuse of authority. Okay, so I think that people view you as, first of all, somebody very strong. You don't have to be male to belong to this energy, but I do get a lot of masculine energy here. I actually feel like Wands energy, and particularly I'm thinking of the King of Wands for some reason. But I feel like there's definitely like a strong masculine energy to this group, and I think people see that, whether they like acknowledge it as that or not. And honestly, I think this group is very fortunate, and I feel like you have a lot of fortune, possibly a lot of wealth. And that could be in a lot of ways. That could be like intellectual wealth, that could be spiritual wealth, that could be material wealth. It could be a lot of things. But I do feel like this group is wealthy in some kind of capacity here. But with that wealth, or before you could really have that wealth, I should say, there was a lot of work that went into it. And the reason I say that is because we have 2 very like work-oriented animals coming out with the animal oracles here, as well as Father. Now, obviously, we live in the year 2022. Everybody's out there working, but traditionally speaking, the man was, who went out to work. And for some reason, that symbolism is popping into my head. I'm not a traditionalist necessarily, but that's just what's coming into my head right now. And I feel like that's the energy of this group. You bring home the bacon, regardless of, who you are. You bring home the bacon. You have a lot of strength to you, honestly. Like, I feel like with a Leo placement coming out as well as strength, there's like an emphasis on this strength that you have, to be honest with you. And I feel like that's where this wealth comes from. Regardless of what kind of wealth it is, the strength that you have has brought you a lot of wealth in a certain area of your life. And people see that, and I think some people are envious of that, to be honest with you. I feel like some people wish that they had the the momentum is what I just heard. The momentum that you have. You seem to have a lot of momentum, and you seem to have a really good work ethic as well. I feel like you're the type of person that wants to get things done. You're not somebody who's going to stop a project in a place where you don't feel like you're going to pick it back up again. You know, you're somebody, some of you, I actually just thought of this one time when I was like knitting a scarf, and I just started knitting, and for some reason I got real determined, and I like finished like 2 scarves in one day, which, you know, it's actually really easy if you are a knitter and you knit a lot, but it can be really difficult when you've just started knitting. So I was really determined to do that, and I feel like that's sort of the energy this group is giving me, is that you have a lot of determination, you have a really good work ethic, and you have a lot of momentum. And I think people see that. They admire that. Some people are jealous of it. I mean, honestly, this energy is kind of phenomenal in my opinion. This is a really cool energy, and again, I think I'm almost jealous. I'm gonna be honest here. I'm almost a little jealous at the amount of momentum this group has. Super cool. I'm ready to get into your tarot cards now. So the first tarot card is the Wheel of Fortune, and that makes perfect sense with this. Like I'm saying, you get this wealth, whatever area in your life this is, through the work that you do. And it's just, you get what you put in is sort of what I get out of that card, and I feel that with this group. But you have put in a lot, and people see that. Again, people are kind of jealous of that. I'm one of them, apparently. This is like really cool energy, and I keep hearing you get what you put in when I see the wheel card. So let's keep going. Let's see what else you have here. So your next tarot card is the Eight of Wands. Okay, interesting. So for some of you, or for all of you, for most of you, I feel like the energy that you put into things comes back to you rather quickly. Most of the time. And I feel as though that is partially why people are jealous, to be honest. Like, you might be, let me try to think of a good example. Let's say you started a business. We'll do that example. Let's say you started a business, and you've been trying to run this business for like, the past 4 months, and it's starting to pick up pretty quickly for just having started it 4 months ago. And I think that people, like, you might have a friend that just started a business, or people around you have been working hard at a business for a long time, and they're almost like, to be honest, I think that's where the jealousy is coming from. Like, they're doing something similar and they're not getting as much results as you are. But to be honest with you, I have a feeling that has to do with the fact that they don't have as much momentum as you do. They don't have as much they don't have like as good of a work ethic, is what I just heard. I feel like you put a lot of energy into what you do, and that's why you get so much out of it. And in fact, like like this is a conscious effort. I just heard that like you put a conscious effort into what you do, and it shows. And I don't think the people around you who are jealous fully understand that. I think that they think that you're just effortlessly doing this, that it's just something that's like, it's like luck or something. But no, you're putting in a lot of energy to this, and it's paying off. I don't know what else to say. It's paying off. Your bee and beaver energy is paying off. Also, for some of you, you might have a B in your name. It might be like the first letter of your name. I just think it's weird that bee and beaver came out. Just saying. All right, let's see your last tarot card. And that is the Seven of Pentacles. So I almost get the sense that this card represents the people that we're talking about here, the people, how they view you. And I feel like this is them, like this is you put in the effort, so it's coming back to you really fast, and they're just sort of watching it and then looking at their business like, what am I doing wrong? Like, when is this gonna come back to me? Like, why is this taking so long? I feel like that's the energy we're getting here, and I feel like that's how people view you. Now, that's just like a handful of the people that we're talking about here. I do get that, like, people that are close to you, they view you as like father energy. I just heard like daddy energy. They view you as like, like you bring home the bacon. You get work done. Like, I mean, I feel like these people respect you. The people that are close to you, I do believe, respect you because you have such a good work ethic. So I'm going to start pulling some charms here. Okay, there's a lot of strength going on here with the Tree of Life coming out and an elephant coming out. There's like definitely an emphasis on strength here. You are a strong person. You have a lot of energy. I think it's mental, most of it. Most of this energy is mental, is what I'm picking up on. I feel like with the father, there's an emphasis now with the father and the unicorn on protection. So perhaps you're a very protective person. Maybe this project you're protective over. Maybe it's your family you're protective over. It could apply to anything. But yeah, you're a very protective person, which sort of makes sense with the bee too. You're a protective person, but you're also a very hardworking person, and that's what people see in you. So that's all I'm really getting here. Thank you for watching this reading. I hope you found it helpful. If you wish to support this channel, please subscribe. And once again, thank you. All right. Hello, pile number 3. This is your tarot reading for how people view you. You chose this super cool, super awesome jade crystal. All right, so we're gonna get into your oracles first and then your tarot, as usual. All right, so your first oracle card is Principle with Jupiter in Sagittarius. Sorry, I have to think about it sometimes. And your next oracle card is Enthusiasm with the Sun in Sagittarius. Interesting. So right off the bat, you know, this doesn't have to be all of you, but a lot of you, I'm assuming, are Sagittarius or have a major Sagittarius placement. All right, so your next oracle card is Gazelle. Your next oracle card is Spider. Your next oracle card is Sweetness. And your last oracle card is Knight. Light attributes: loyalty, romance, and chivalry, a love of honor. Interesting, that kind of goes with Principle. And shadow attributes: allegiance to destructive ruler or principle, romantic delusions. Okay. I'm going to move these just a little bit so that everything's in the frame. But I have an idea here, and I'm going to be honest with you, this is actually kind of a sweet reading. So essentially, how people view you. Okay. They view you as somebody with a lot of principle, with a lot of integrity. They view you as somebody who is pretty graceful with the gazelle coming out. Again, I'm getting major Sagittarius energy, not just from the actual Sagittarius coming out, but the actual cards coming out. I feel like Knight, especially that we have a horse showing up, I get Sagittarius vibes from that. Even in the tarot, I don't know if this is true, but like the Knight cards, I get Sagittarius energy from a lot of them. Believe it or not, actually the Knight of Pentacles really gives me that energy. But we're not talking about the Knight of Pentacles here. We're talking about you. So people view you as somebody who has basically integrity is the word that comes to mind here. They view you as somebody who, like, this is weird because this sort of came up in the first reading, but this is somebody who chooses their battles. This is somebody who knows how to talk too. I feel like you have a very graceful way with words, graceful and creative way with words. For some of you, you might be writers. I think people admire this about you. I think that they admire that you are a very optimistic person with integrity. There's like a weird seriousness to this group too. Like, don't get me wrong, you guys are very enthusiastic, very optimistic, but with Principle and Knight coming out, I feel like you take certain things very seriously. Not everything, but just certain things that are very important to you. And people admire this. Like, I honestly think that this is a very sweet reading, especially with Sweetness coming out. But I think this is a very sweet reading in the sense that people admire you. There's a very grown-up energy to this group. I feel like if you're a younger person, you're probably told that you're very mature all the time. Watch out for that, by the way, just in case, but even if it is true. But if you are, you know, if you're an older person, I feel like for your whole life you would have been called like an old soul, to be honest with you. I feel like this is very graceful energy. This is somebody who's been around the block a couple times. This is somebody who has a way with words in particular, especially with all that sad coming out. I don't think people have a lot of bad things to say about you. I don't think that they look down on you. I really don't get any negative energy from this group at all. I feel like if anything, you might be a teacher and people like look up to you. Maybe literally a teacher, maybe spiritually a teacher. I feel like this is somebody that a lot of people look up to. That's the energy that I'm really getting here. Like dignity just came to mind. The word dignity, you have a lot of dignity to you. I heard you choose your words wisely. You realize that words can really like, they make an impact, is what I just heard. They can really impact a situation or how somebody views you or just how somebody views themselves. And I feel like because of that, you choose your words very wisely. There's definitely a lot of grace to this group. And I think that people really look up to you for that. And to be honest, I'm like a little bit like intimidated reading this, if I'm honest with you, because I don't know if I'll be able to articulate on your level. I feel like you're a very articulate person and people admire this about you. You're also very enthusiastic though. So like there's almost like this really interesting balance between a playfulness and a seriousness in this group, which is pretty cool. I think that that's an interesting combination, honestly. So let's get into your tarot cards, shall we? So the first card coming out is the King of Swords. Can I say that I'm not surprised? Because I'm not surprised. You choose your words wisely. You cut through the words that don't, make sense or that are not gonna do you justice here. You choose your words wisely. You're not even just choosing your words wisely, but you seem like an analytical person too. But I don't think it's in like a way that's like self-sabotaging. I think that this is like you're very careful in the way that you think and the way that you speak is what I get here. All right, so your next tarot card is Strength. Interesting. Definitely got some fire signs watching this right now. But I think because of this is like, it's the integrity. I just heard integrity come out again. You have a lot of integrity. You hold yourself in a way that is strong, but it's also like, still approachable. You're strong but approachable, but like, I'm sorry, there's just something very interesting about this group. The energy here is complicated, if I'm honest. And I think that people see this in you. I think they see that you're a complicated person. Some people, I think because you're complicated, even though you're approachable, some people, they're almost like intimidated still. It's kind of weird. Like when they actually are talking to you, they can talk to you. But like it's almost like if they want to go talk to you, if they want to send you a text, they're almost like, oh God, like they're almost like a little bit nervous about it because you're such a graceful person, because you have so much integrity, people are a little bit nervous around you. But I don't think it's like a you thing. I think it's just a them thing. It's just almost like what's the word? I think like you're a gem comes to mind, the phrase you're a gem. Like you're a rare person. You're not somebody that they're going to find. So I feel like people get nervous that they're going to screw up with you or that. But honestly, I don't think you're like that. Like, I don't think you would hold it against these people if they did say something stupid or something. Like, I think that that's sort of in their head kind of thing. So let's see your last tarot card, which is the Hermit. So I do think that you are somebody who does like to spend a lot of time alone. And maybe that's part of what intimidates people. I think that actually goes with this graceful energy. I don't know if I can really explain that very well, but there's just something very graceful and elegant about you. And I think that it has to do with the fact that you do really take the time to, like, I just heard meditate and be with yourself. And I think that might be a big reason why people are intimidated by you. It's because you do spend a lot of time by yourself and you are a very well-rounded person, and maybe they're just not, they just don't feel like, this is a little bit dramatic, but they just don't feel worthy. this is some big energy. I'm not gonna lie. This is some big energy. And I think people ultimately are a bit intimidated by you, but they also really respect and look up to you. I don't think they're like afraid of you. I think they're just a little intimidated. I think that's the way I would phrase that. So I'm gonna pull some charms now. Okay, we have a ton of charms that came out. Interesting. So there is a emphasis here, because if you pay attention to what's going on in the King of Swords, you see a little butterfly here, and you have 2 butterfly charms that came out. So there is an emphasis here. I think that when you are in social situations, you do come off as a social butterfly, even though you might be a very to yourself person. I think that you're like, there's this enthusiasm to you. Like, you sort of just go with the flow here, and there's like a sweetness to you. And I think that goes back to this social butterfly energy. Like, even though you might not be a socialite, like that's not really who you are, you sort of adapt to social situations, and you do look like a socialite in those situations. With that, I think that there is emphasis on, what's the word? Confidence. Sorry, for some reason that slipped my mind, but confidence. There's an emphasis on confidence here, especially with strength, which is ruled by, or not ruled by, which is representative of Leo. There's definitely some confidence here. Some people view you as an angel because you, even if you are a little intimidating, the people who are close to you truly view you as like otherworldly sometimes, and I get that with this energy 100%. For some reason, I just heard key to your heart, and I don't know what that has to do with anything, to be honest with you. And then we have this little flower here. I think that, you know, weirdly, this is making me think that you catch the attention of people who would be considered wallflowers. And I'm not sure what that means. Again, so sorry. And then we have this little ladybug, which I feel like there's an element of luck here. Like, maybe some people view you as lucky that you have such a carefree and enthusiastic view on life. But yeah, that's all I'm really getting here. So thank you for watching this reading. I hope you found it helpful. If you wish to support this channel, please subscribe. And once again, thank you. Well, there she goes. And there's another one. Wow. I have butterfingers right now. All right, guys, like I said, Mother Nature is completely kicking my butt, so I'm probably going to go lay down after this. But much love to everyone who's watching my videos and everyone who is subscribed, and I hope you all have a very beautiful and wonderful week.